Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Hope y'all are doing well. Today, we're going to be talking about how I would implement kill streaks into VAIL. Now, for those curious why I'm doing this video, the peak reason is because in the past, the developers have suggested that that is something that is going to be occurring in the future. So I wanted to, as the first video in this series, to dissect that first because it is an easy one and it is something that we will likely see. Now, for those who are unaware, a kill streak is a reward system within a match itself that rewards people for performing extremely well during that match. For reference, that's, in this instance, it would be getting kills in subsequent order without dying. Now, what would that look like in VAIL is, say, after a certain amount of time, you would slowly start building up a kill streak as a more experienced player, perhaps. As it stands right now, the only reward that there is for that is that you get more XP. Maybe if you get like double kills and stuff, or an ace and artifact. And it really doesn't change the gameplay up very much, and it can make it a lot more complicated within the game itself because you have to worry about, of course, the obvious problem. That's the simple fact that people who are much better at the game, if they get into a lobby with lesser skilled players, they're going to absolutely just decimate the other team. And at a certain point in a match, when it is super lopsided, it just gets to the point where, like, I want this game to be over. And I know, say, Artifact, there should be some ability to just forfeit. But when it comes to this, kill streaks would probably help with that. And why do I say this? It's because one of the big hits of kill streaks in the game that uses them the most and most prevalently, is Call of Duty. In Call of Duty, after 25 or 30 kills, depending on the game, you get a nuke kill streak, which in most of the games ends the game. Or it is a full team wipe, and that, whatever. The thing I'm focusing on the first part, where it ends the game, right? And from the perspective as a super good player, having those kill streaks could actually be incredibly fun and rewarding because you're at this high level and you start getting that power trip that comes with getting a high kill streak. You feel great and it feels awesome when you're about to get that nuke. And when you first get your first nuke, and every time after in COD, it is a great feeling experience. But obviously, you have the downside of that, and that's when you are on the receiving end, it stinks a ton. Just get constantly spammed by some guy running a chopper gunner or whatever else until he gets that nuke and the game ends, and you end up in a different lobby nowadays, or that guy gets on your team. Maybe even doesn't perform very well, but that's discussion for another video. The team balancing. As for this, going with kill streaks, first thing I wanted to hit on before I get into that was just the first thing I wanted to hit on. It's like before I went into the implementation. and talk about some kill streak ideas. So implementation, how would that work? So my suggestion would be you add another part to your tac vest or whatever you want to call it in game, that maybe you have a tablet or whatever that displays your HUD a little bit better, or something of that nature, that you can, after you get a kill streak, there'll be a little button you can press and it'll activate the kill streak or something like that. And there you go, it's deployed. Another idea would be maybe it's on your tablet, and when you get the kill streak or whatever, it's available there. Now, unless they only have a set number of like 3 streaks or something, and those are the only streaks you have available, you would want to have a section in your tablet anyways for equipping them in your loadouts. And I think, again, if this was to be something that they added in the future, is you just leave some room in your actual loadout for it. And I'll do a video later on various other loadout things, but this will all go together eventually when I do talk about that. But as for right now, things that I want to hit on right here is that. And I think maybe like some sort of new HUD system would benefit that immensely, or some way, maybe when you get a kill streak, the next time you die, you get it, or maybe they use like a holster or something for that. I don't know. There's various things you can do with that. And that's not really my point here. The big thing I'm trying to hit on is that there needs to be a diegetic reason for you to be able to deploy it. You can't just be, okay, I have to go through and do all this work to deploy it. It has to be immersive and it has to be seamless. And that's why using the tablet or something like that could be difficult. As for balancing, how do you make it where the kill streaks are rewarding, but they aren't so broken that it makes it unfun to play against? And the simplest explanation is, for a good start, is you don't get super crazy with the kill streaks unless it's like a game-ending one, like the nuke would be in COD. And maybe a little bit more tame, recon device or something like that gives you an indication of where the enemy team is, but it doesn't last super long, and maybe it can be shot down. You can see it up in the sky. You get maybe a notification in your kill feed on your left side of the screen. Somebody so-and-so deployed a UAV with a little indication of their emblem or whatever, maybe. You can look up and it's like, okay, this guy that has a drone over where they deployed it, and it's getting a sweeping of the map, and you can go up and you can shoot it, like you can shoot the mines. Obviously it's going to be high up, so it would be hard if you're not super accurate, but it's shootable and you can shoot it down. Or after a certain amount of time, it'll either destroy itself or it'll fly away. Something like that. You could do, I know at one point they were conceptually thinking about doing some sort of drone tactical equipment or something like that. That was kind of like a bomb drone. Maybe that could be a kill streak instead of a tactical equipment, You could do, maybe you could do some sort of AI companion or something that's like a turret situation where you set it down and it rotates around to defend that location. Different ideas. I know a lot of the COD games have gotten most of these ideas to some extent, but a VAIL version of these, taking a more realistic, okay, this is technology that we have currently, maybe putting a little bit of a sci-fi flair on it, and then, just making it its own identity, I think would work really well. That's one of the good things about the game is its identity, and Killstreaks need to be able to fit in with that. Another thing I do want to add with this is that it shouldn't be in all modes. I know a lot of comp players would not be happy if all of a sudden you can get a guy who at 4 kills, where everybody is, different things like that. It can completely mess with the strategy. And I get that. And so I think modes like Artifact, Fiesta, Gun Game, and maybe any other future competitive mode if they're added, I think should not have kill streaks, or at least change up how they are. And I know game modes like Scouts Knives have modifiers, and so I know it's possible that they can do things like this, maybe disable them in this mode or whatever else. But I think that's the best way to handle it, because at this time, maybe they can make it where it's a custom room setting, and then they can enable it in pubs, and then comp players can disable it in custom lobbies and whatever ranked mode they have. I don't know. But I do think that it's crucial that the modes that have a good standing of being very casual and arcadey, I think would benefit greatly from it. Your team death matches, your domination whenever that comes out, your capture the flag, hardpoint, etc. You can fill in the blank. Free for all could be fun too. It would benefit greatly from having the perks of, okay, here we are, let's get to work. I think kill streaks really only work with those more casual modes, because kill streaks in and of itself are more rewarding for the casual side of the game. I think it would be annoying to have, I don't know, maybe there's some sort of drone swarm or something that calls in a bunch of drones that drop into the ground and explode. That could be really annoying in a Artifact game. If you're playing it competitively or something, I can see that going wrong. So many levels, getting people so mad. And while that could be funny, I think for the benefit of the competitive community, it would be best to keep it out of Artifact, keep it out of any competitive mode, without giving an option in at least custom rooms to opt out. Overall, I think the idea is sound. I think the nature of kill streaks, it rewards growing in your playstyle. And I know a lot of people, they need something to shake up the game. And outside of your TTK changes, your guns and whatever, kill streaks and having different kill streaks systems in place, I think would help that a little bit as well, because every game is going to look a little different. You might have a game that's a lot harder and people aren't getting kill streaks, and that'll be more, okay, this is a vanilla type game. You might have a game where everybody's getting streaks. You got people on both teams calling in these crazy things, and they're both fighting to get a nuke, and then there's a huge competition there. I think it would be interesting to see how that could play out, and I think it would give a little bit more variety into gameplay and all of that, because while right now, I mean, as it is right now, it's it would still probably be a MK spam simulator unless they change the meta and all that. But having kill streaks would at least make it more rewarding and less monotonous to play your casual quick play modes instead of just usual, okay, this is just artifact with respawns for some people, you know? But yeah. These are kind of my base thoughts. Obviously, this can go a lot more in depth, and that's where I'll leave it up to you guys. So, you know, if you have any ideas for kill streaks, maybe something unique that would fit VAIL very uniquely, or just have any thoughts in general about whether or not they should add kill streaks or how you would want to implement them, leave that in the comments. This is obviously a little bit of a new type of video, so how I approached it was a little different. I'll probably refine this as I go along, but this first one was kind of more, I had a general idea of something I wanted to talk about. I wrote a fairly simple script about it, and I'm just kind of talking about it with you guys. But if you enjoyed, you know, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all next time.